Oh my gosh, you guys, I just watched Jojo Siwa on Howie Mandel's podcast, and I'm a little shaken. This is the first person that we've seen close to Colleen come in her defense. This is the first and only person that has been close with Colleen that has come to her defense. In this interview with Howie, she says she met Colleen when she was 12, and they had a friendship. They've had a friendship since then. I will talk about this over and over and over and over again till it's so clear, because obviously it is not clear to people out there that an adult being friends with a minor, with a child, is extremely inappropriate, period. Regardless of the connection, regardless of what is talked about, it's inappropriate. There's no business that someone who's 27, 28 needs to be friends with a 12-year-old. Later on, being 30, friends with a 14-year-old. These are all facts proven. Her going out to lunch with 14-year-old Adam McIntyre, being in group chats with 16-year-olds talking about her adult life, and now this with Jojo. Jojo says she thinks Colleen, she's just cool. She idolized her. She still idolizes her. She says all of this is lies gone too far. So clear, I don't fully blame Jojo in this situation. She is 20 years old, but I think this is such a clear depiction of grooming, of being manipulated to defend your friend. The only person close to Colleen defending her proven actions, not lies, is the one she started becoming friends with when she was 12 years old. All her adult friends, nothing. And not saying anyone has to say anything. In this case, Jojo probably shouldn't say anything. I get that Jojo loves her. I get that she feels a friendship, a loyalty. This is her idol, as she said a couple times in the Howie Mandel podcast. She should have just said nothing. Very many times I've gone on podcasts where I just say, I'd rather not talk about it. I don't want to speak about it. This is one of those situations. To say all of this is lies, to say Miranda is a character, she's a comedian, jokes a long time ago, they weren't funny, now we get canceled for it now. No one is saying Miranda's outdated jokes are the reason she's being canceled. This isn't a cancellation, by the way. This is some very serious-ish. She has been proven to be friends with minors, to tell them deep personal information so that they go and do whatever, make a video, make a response. That's manipulation. That's becoming friends with minors in order to manipulate, exploit, or abuse them. That's the definition of grooming. Grooming should be illegal. I don't think it is yet. And I think all people want is closure and acknowledgement. She admits herself that these inappropriate relationship text conversations doesn't mean she's a groomer. She's just a loser in her ukulele apology, admitting this herself. This is just my issue and a lot of people's issues with her being friends with children and not acknowledging it. On top of making her underage fans feel uncomfortable at her show. So many times I keep hearing she's a comedian, she's a character, she's not meant for children. So why is she collaborating with Jojo, whose primary audience are children? Why is she in group chats with fans that are children if her character's not meant for children? Why is she bringing 16-year-olds on stage opening their legs if it's not meant for children? There are very real people involved and hurt by Colleen, and there's been no apology. She's been silent for a reason. Again, no one is mad about outdated jokes that aren't funny anymore, that can be offensive now. No, there's countless underage kids that were involved and affected by Colleen at her live shows, in texts, in person, and no acknowledgement or apology. My only thinking is if she thinks she admits to having these inappropriate relationships, she could be open up to a lawsuit or something. As far as I know, grooming is not illegal. It should be. Being friends with minors should be. There should be no hangout between adult and children. It's extremely inappropriate. But a 16-year-old felt violated, felt humiliated at her show, and it got written off as a fart joke. I get it. You meant it to be a joke, but this underage girl at your show felt humiliated, and there's not even, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can just say sorry and nothing else. You can just be like, I'm sorry. Damn, I'm sorry for your trauma. I'm sorry for this. People get online all the time and apologize for offensive jokes, offending groups of people just that are on other sides of the screen, because that's what you do, especially jokes from 10 years ago. You just do, because times do change, but you have the responsibility to acknowledge and apologize for it and say why it was wrong. And she hasn't done that. But these are real people. These are underage people that still under as all these lies. There's proof. I got an apology after it was proven. She sent my pictures to a fan. It was confirmed to at least one, he was of age, and there was alleged that she sent him to underage. But the one that was of age, it's like her friend with my pictures, next to his face. It's like, who even, that's a whole other thing. That's a whole other situation. I'm not angry about that. I'm shocked about it. I'm sad about that. I'm angry that she did it unsolicited. That's cyber flashing. That's so disgusting on so many levels. And it is alleged she did it to sent them to a minor. I have not seen them, but I have seen the one she did the fan. I think that's absolutely disgusting. Not only to make fun and humiliate me, but you did it unsolicited. And then also lied to me and said he's the one who did it. But then I got an apology. Where's the apology to these kids? Again, this defense of Colleen Ballinger by Jojo Siwa on How I Mandel's podcast is the perfect example of what grooming is the manipulation by being friends, having this loyalty, this idolization from these young kids, befriending them so they will defend you like this. Just like she saw those intimate details of her divorce with them in the group chat so they could defend her and attack all that. I'm sure it is the same situation. This person is saying, she's a good person. She's great. She's cool. I idolized her. Not even an inkling of like, honestly, she just never talked about it. I feel for Jojo. I'm not trying to make her a victim if she doesn't want to be, but in my eyes, she is. There's no business with an adult being friends, hanging out with a child. Past collaborations, past any of that, there's no excuse. I get it. They're in the same industry. Make a video, I guess. But to hang out and be friends and have that next level, it's very inappropriate. And I feel for the child because the child is just not emotionally equipped, no matter how mature Jojo is. And Jojo, I met her when she was 15, and she does come across very mature and she comes across very professional, but it's very inappropriate. I just did a whole video on my YouTube channel to explain that part a little more. It was deeply disturbing, that clip. I don't know why she answered it, but it felt very disturbing. And I feel for all the actual people, children who were victims of Colleen, who felt humiliated, embarrassed, manipulated by her. She had no business being friends with anyone underage. She should have no business bringing kids underage on stage. I will keep talking about this, because again, my stuff aside, the stuff with children is beyond cancellation. It's not a cancellation. This is a bad, sick person. And if no one is seeing this, if Jojo doesn't grasp why this is a sickness, or Colleen herself can't grab what the sickness is, then there's a problem.